vocals. Keep 1 2 1 2.
I can see your tummy, Tom.
You can do what? What
Are you offended by this or something,
For
Christina?
the radio.
No,
Do you want to
it's
sing more or something,
It's pretty
Christina?
apt, to be honest. 'Cause, yeah, that's what Renegade's about. Tom.
Renegade.
That's pretty much it.
Right, before I start, anything you want me to ask you?
What? This is not how it
I've
works.
got a question, but is there anything you want to talk about? I know you've got your album, is there anything you want to talk about?
Upcoming gigs.
Yeah, we're doing Supporting Public Enemy. How awesome is that?
Okay, we'll talk about that. What's the name of your album again?
RBB Rhyme Speaks. RBB.
Be right back.
Beats, Breath and Rhymes.
RBB Rhyme Speaks.
BBP.
Our album is called.
Okay.
Really big.
Are you ready to start?
What about Charles?
Okay. Okay. We'll just start by just introducing yourselves.
I'm Vex. I'm the MC of the band.
I'm Andy, I play trumpet.
I'm Tom, I'm a trombone player.
I'm Zodiac, the DJ.
And what's your band?
Renegade Brass Band.
Okay, Brass Band. So do you want to just tell us a little bit about your band?
We're a 12-piece hip-hop band based in Sheffield. We kind of incorporate a load of brass music and the kind of old New Orleans vibe, but update it and make it our own with original music and a much more kind of hip-hop inflected sort of sound with the DJ and the MC.
Just like Mardi Gras with an idiot talking over it, basically.
So what would you say has been an influence on your music?
All sorts, isn't it? A lot of heavy jazz influence, a lot of the American style brass bands, Hot 8 brass band, Youngblood brass bands, obviously the hip hop influence as well, some artists.
Well, like Tribe,
It's not my film.
Della Soul, Tribe Called Quest, anything which is sort of predominantly have influences from like jazz and funk really with beats building.
Cool. Now you mentioned a couple of brass bands there, so there's been an emergence of brass bands playing like hip hop New Orleans music. Why do you think that is in the last few years?
It's good time music, it's fun, it's danceable, it's accessible, it's not really sceney, it's accessible, it's good stuff.
If you don't like brass, there's something wrong with you.
Do you find though that you get grouped into one of the same by promoters and bookers?
Maybe, but in many ways, like that's their fault, really.
It's a new scene as well. Give it time to develop, I think. Sort of pan out in town. People tend to hear brass band, pigeonhole it, but you find in a lot of bands nowadays, especially in the UK scene, we're doing all sorts that you just can't put them in the same category. So we're all doing different things.
Yeah. So there's 12 of you in total. Yeah.
We roll deep.
Yeah.
Do you want to just tell us who they are?
Sure. Well, the normal lineup would be 3 trumpets, tenor sax, 3 trombones. We've got Matt on sousaphone for the bass line, drum kit, percussionist, which gives us a really wide variety of beats that we can kind of access. Zodi on the decks, and Vex is the kind of front man and MC.
So with there being 12 of you, do you find that it puts you at a disadvantage with going to a load of different places and getting to venues?
Makes it expensive. It's expensive to get around. It's expensive to kind of make sure that the band is kind of logistically in the right place and all that sort of stuff. But in some ways, I guess it's an advantage as well. Like people like seeing a full stage of people, lots of kind of aspects to look at and interesting things. And musically, it gives us a massive scope to to explore
definitely
all
from like
sorts
a
of stuff.
punter's sort of view. If you go into a different night out and you go, right, there's 12 people on stage, they've all got instruments, and there's a big wall of brass coming at you, then it's like that's quite interesting. I want to see that.
Yeah, exactly. It's really bringing out that live experience. Going out for a night's entertainment really emphasises that. And I think that's great.
Especially these days when a lot of electronic acts might say live, but it just means they're pressing like 3 buttons on a laptop. Do you think it does actually represent live?
It's all original
Power on,
sound.
play and stop.
on the eBay and stuff like that.
So what would you say the best gig that you've you've done? What's the best gig you've ever played?
I don't know really. There's been a pretty wide range of gigs. There's been some pretty weird ones.
I'd be willing to say some of those Craig Charles Funky Soul nights.
Yeah, they've been really good.
Like,
yeah.
we did one in Brixton not too long ago. It was a pretty sold out gig. Crowd just sort of going for it. It's one of those gigs where you know it's right because everyone's dancing, everyone's getting into the music, and it's just the right vibe. And everyone's just there for a good night of good music. So
I think Paddle Boat on the Thames.
Yeah,
I think that's probably my favourite one.
Yeah.
Definitely heading across to Sligo as well. That definitely got very messy, very good.
it was good for different reasons from the musicality, let's face it.
There you go.
You mentioned the Craig Charles boat show that you did. We saw a picture of you posing with Craig Charles, and you had a Matt sousaphone. Was he any good at sousaphone?
I made a sound out of it.
Yeah, I think Craig's he's a big sousaphone enthusiast, certainly. So yeah, no, I think he did used to play a brass instrument, didn't he? Didn't I tell him something like that? But yeah, we've been really lucky to play with him quite regularly. So it's been really nice to build up a good relationship with him.
It's a good contact to have as well. So
he's really enthusiastic about that scene as well. So
He knows the right guys, he plays the right kind of music, and he's really ears down to the ground as well, which is good. It's nice to have a guy like that on the side, which is something you don't expect because it's fast and all that.
So you've got an album coming out soon. Can you just tell us a bit about that?
yeah, so the new album is RBB Rhymes Beats of Brass. It's all original material. It's been a really nice chance to explore what it is that we want to say as brass players and as musicians and as a band collective, and just kind of to be exploring something that we really want to play and perform. So yeah, it's taken a long time, but yeah, we're really pleased. And it's coming out on vinyl as well, which will be really good.
When's the release date?
It's coming out on the 4th of August.
4th of August. Okay, question for Vex. So a lot of your lyrics are quite political. Like, how have you come up with the ideas behind that? What drives you to write?
well, for starters, what I write in the brass band is quite different from what I'd write if I was writing for myself. Obviously, when I'm writing for the band, I've kind of got to take on 12 other people's kind of like thoughts and opinions and think, right, like, I can't exactly express everybody else's opinion through the song. So I'll usually take a beat, I usually get something that's either been written or something that we've collaborated on together as a band, and take it home, and it could be a number of sort of things that might go across to writing something. It could be just a hook that I get in my head. It could be a current event or a news topic that might be out. I've wrote everything from talking about chemical gas attacks in Syria, to talking about what the legacy of George Bush's presidency was 8 years on, looking back from a different way. And it's something different and interesting for me to try and challenge myself to write something that isn't something that I'd write away from the brass band, and it's quite a different perspective from stuff. And yeah, like I say, it's a challenge, and I like writing to it. But I think it's just the style and the mood and kind of like the people that I'm around, and that kind of like brings out what I say over a Renegade tune.
Do you want to just tell us how your songwriting process works, with there being so many of you?
It can start from all sort of varieties, really. People bring in ideas and kind of develop them through rehearsals, and kind of just seeing how different instruments work. And obviously, we're trying to cover a load of different instrumental ideas as well. So it's all about how we can kind of make the best music for each of the instruments that are there and that sort of thing. So yeah, it kind of, again, it's a long process, but I think it kind of really filters it down into exactly what it is that we want. So.
And Matt, do you want to talk about how your part gets
My
added
part?
on?
What I try to do is, instead of just playing samples over the top continuously, I try and find pockets between beats or between phrases, and then within those samples I try to pick something that's probably applicable to the tune, or work with Andy picking particular samples that you think you're going to fit in really. So I try to make like rhythmical sort of patterns that fit over the top of sort of what everyone else is doing. Really. There's a lot going on, so you have to kind of pick your places sort of at the right time.
And what you play live, is that the same as what's on your recorded tracks?
Personally, I've tried to change things for live, or at least it makes it a lot more interesting to be knowing that every time you play it's slightly different.
Yeah, and structurally, some of the tunes are not exactly the same, or certain things will work better live that we thought doesn't really come across in a recorded situation or something like that. So yeah, I mean, we kind of see it as being, if the record's good and the live show's good, it doesn't really matter how much they lock in together. It's more that both those things are good together.
They're separate entities, aren't they?
Yeah, there's a difference between a track being a performance and a studio recording. Obviously, I'm going to be working a crowd. I'm obviously going to be looking out into the audience and seeing who's getting involved, and obviously I'm going to start working a crowd towards that sort of thing and working towards those sorts of people.
You want live to be good, you want it to have impact.
Exactly.
Otherwise you might as well just listen to
The studio
They
recording.
sit there with the headphones on, just not talking.
So this is your third time in Croatia.
2 more and we get a free coffee, I think.
So what's Soundwave like then?
It's dope.
It's really good.
It's really nice, really warm. Food's great. The locals are great. Music's great. What else can you say? Really, a festival on the beach. You can't complain at all. Especially when you're getting asked to come here for free to play. So it's. I remember the first time that we came here. I remember sitting out looking over, the landscape such as this, and thinking, how privileged I am to be able to say, look, I've been asked to come here and perform in a different country, all from the strength of speaking and saying words out of my mouth. You know what I mean? Just being able to have that privilege in life. So, I can't wish for anything else, really.
Great. So just a bit about band dynamics. Who's the joker? Who's the joker in the band?
That's definitely this one over here, Private Joker.
What are you saying? No, we all bring something separate to the group. It's a band of personalities, it makes it easier going on tour, especially long trip to places like Croatia and stuff. It's nice having a band of personalities. It means travelling around, you're not getting bored of one another's company and things like that. It's good.
You've got to have the banter.
You've got to have the band, so
The crowd.
the good.
Yeah, definitely got to have some of that as well.
The right sort of crowd.
Great. Well, yeah. I suppose finally, what's next? What can we expect from you guys?
We've got more gigs. We've got a good festival summer lined up. We're heading to quite a few new festivals, which will be great. Big one for us is obviously a big hometown show in Sheffield, playing alongside Public Enemy, which will be an absolute dream for us.
This new up-and-coming rapper called Chuck D. I don't know if you've heard of him yet, but
yeah, you should definitely check him out.
Yeah.
He's going to go places, that boy. But that'll be amazing. So yeah, we're really chuffed about that. So that'll be great. But, yeah, just lots more gigs, lots of touring, new records. Hopefully, we've got remixes album coming soon as well. So yeah, just keep doing what we do and what we really enjoy doing.
Just sorry, another question. You said your hometown Sheffield. Do you find that? How do you find it being in Sheffield with so much of the music scene being pushed down to London?
Well, you can find a good music scene wherever you need it, really. And London's not very far away and all that sort of stuff. If you need the gigs, then you can go and get them. And a lot of stuff gets lost in London, which is unfortunate. So it's nice to have that identity and be like, this is what Sheffield can do. This is what Sheffield does when it goes to Croatia and all that sort of stuff.
There's a lot of musicians in Sheffield and a lot of good acts as well. So it's good to get some spotlights every now and then.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
sometimes it's good to be overlooked as well. You know what I mean? You find out that gem. Exactly. Yeah, definitely. You do find that there's a little bit of a divide sometimes when you go down south and people are thinking, some brass band from Yorkshire, and they're expecting us to play something like Brassed Off, and then we hit them with some sort of New Orleans jazz and have them seeing over the top of it, and they're like, all right, well, don't always judge a book by its cover.
I mean, the North's got a really vibrant scene at the moment. There's all this talk about you've just got to go down to London to make your music heard, but I don't agree with that. It's just such a vibrant, beautiful scene. There's a lot of cool stuff happening. It's just, it's insular at the moment, but it's getting wings. It's going to go places. I think it's a nice time to be part of that scene. It's really good things going on.
Is it important for you to do hometown gigs?
If the money's good.
It's important to play gigs where people want to sit and listen to us and have a good time.
Yeah, it's nice to play at places where people have seen you grow over time as well, and they can see you develop and then feel as if they're kind of been part of that as well. It's nice to give back.
Great. Well, thanks very much.
Right on.
Well done.